You are listening to the Willpower Podcast. Welcome to the show. I am Will Holdren, and I talk with some of the most influential CEOs, entrepreneurial leaders, and thought leaders to try and reveal the secrets that has led to their success. I believe that with the right knowledge and mindset, you can do anything you set your mind to. So if you want to learn how to change your life for the better, if you want to learn how millionaires actually became wealthy, or if you want to develop and start your own business from the ground up with the right knowledge to help you, then you are in the right place because this is the Willpower Podcast. I cannot wait to introduce you to today's guest, but first, if you have enjoyed an episode, then please open up Apple Podcasts and hit that subscribe button. And if you think we deserve it, scroll to the bottom, select write a review, and leave us a 5-star rating with a review that states where you are from and one aspect of the show that you love. Once you do that, send me a screenshot and I will feature you on a future show and shout you out on my Instagram that has over 10,000 followers. Now let's get to the show with our newest guest.
No way that we go is a one-way street. Nothing that we love is a one-day key. And if we gon' do it, we gon' do this now. And if we say we gon' hold this.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Will Holdren, and I am the host of the Willpower Podcast. Today we have a very special guest. His name is Bruke Fasil, and Bruke is actually an NFT specialist, and he is also a content creator. So I'm super excited for this interview. So Bruke, thank you so much for hopping on with me today.
Yo, what's up, Will? How you doing today?
Good, man. I appreciate this. I'm starting a lot about NFTs on the internet, on social media, and stuff like that. They're blowing up everywhere. Not a lot of people know a lot about them, so I'm super excited for this. So to start off, I kind of want to go into your background a little bit. So how did you get started in the first place going into content creation and getting involved with NFTs?
Okay, so content creation definitely started a while back, probably like around 2012 or so. Just by way, with a group of friends starting a clothing line, and then it was started to become real expensive to get stuff like photo shoots and commercials done. So instead of outsourcing that, went ahead and got a camera. But once I got a camera, I just started realizing I had other passions like film, and when I got that, I was like, yo, this is actually the same tool that's used in those type of spaces as well. Then, when people start seeing you with the camera, everybody starts asking, yo, can you do this? Can you do that? So I kind of just dived into that space. And then fast forward, you know what I'm saying? Just started shooting a lot of stuff, shooting hella content. So, when I got aware of NFTs, I would say in December of 2020, it kind of just it clicked for me because cryptos and blockchain technology wasn't something that was new to me. I kind of got aware to that, in that 2017 ICO run. So I was doing some due diligence there. So the space and that shit wasn't aware to me, but NFTs slipped my mind back then because if people are aware, the rare Pepes or crypto punks and things of that nature, that shit was out during that time. But, if you weren't too into the weeds, the thing you realize about this crypto and the blockchain space is there's so many lanes. There's so many different communities like DeFi, decentralized finance, so many different things that you can get yourself involved with. So at that time, I was more so just thinking about trying to catch the right investment and just flip, not necessarily thinking about the use case of it all. Even though I would read, the white papers to these projects, I see what they were trying to do, but it was still beyond me. I didn't see any application, I just seen money going up. So when December 2020 came, shout out my guy Israel Wilson. He's definitely the guy that put me on game via this app called Clubhouse. I got on Clubhouse towards the end of 2020. And that shit was huge. These audio spaces in general were huge because it was just this influx of information.
Yeah.
And it's you couldn't necessarily have some of these conversations in your real life. And some of this value would be the same type of value people be paying for these mastermind classes or shit like that. So I understood the value of things like that. So I'd always, even if I didn't have something to say, I'd be a fly on the wall, a lot of rooms. But just, I would always delve into the crypto and blockchain rooms, tech rooms in particular. And then, my guy Israel, he basically put me onto NFTs. He had walked me through the process and shit like that. So I had minted my NFT, in that same month in December. And he actually bought it. He actually showed me the whole process from beginning to end. And then I kind of understood that concept. And then from there, you know what I'm saying? I went down that rabbit hole. That's how I got to that point.
Gotcha. It's interesting you brought up Clubhouse because Clubhouse was huge like a year ago. And
Yeah,
this was
man.
like, you hop in any room. I remember being in rooms like 21 Savage, like talking
Yeah,
like
yeah,
people would pay
right.
thousands of
Yeah,
dollars for
man.
this
You
kind
would
of
see it
stuff.
in the room too, because everybody in there, you'd be like, damn, 2,000 people up in here. So let me see
Yeah,
what's up.
and it's like,
Yeah,
wow, what's
facts.
happening right now? That's so cool.
Yeah.
And it's also interesting you brought up crypto and blockchain back in 2017 because I know in my experience, I first heard of that like a year ago. And you're talking about 2017 first game of the game, which is pretty early.
Right.
So how did you see the value in those things early on compared to like most people?
Again, like what I seen in 2017 is just it was just such an influx of money within this digital space, and it was also another like myself. I'm like the type of individual when I feel as if I don't like to feel as if I'm missing out on something I need to actually be aware of, and I already had knew about Bitcoin back in like 2012, but only as it pertained to like purchasing things off of Silk Road, or black markets and things like that. And so like, I would be told about what you could do. And I was like, that's cool. But it's like, this cash is, just fine. That seems like too much to be doing all of that extra shit. So I was like, I didn't really care about it. So I just really viewed it as a cash or like, some type of, like commerce that you could just do like on black markets. So I didn't really pay no mind. Then when 2000 end of 2016, 2017 comes about, I start hearing it's funny. I heard about Ethereum and somebody who I just appreciated just their insight on a multitude of things was just posting about this Ethereum. And at that time, I was trying to fuck with stocks. I was like, "Yo, I'm trying to get in the stock market. I'm trying to, flip my money." And I'm like, "It's Ethereum. This must be a stock because it's a chart. I'm just seeing charts. I'm like, yo, these are stocks. I'm like, I'm looking for like this ETH stock and shit like that. Like, and I guess because I'm searching stock after ETH, like nothing is popping up. I'm like, dog, what the fuck is this? And then I'm like, oh wait, is it a cryptocurrency? I'm like, oh, it's a crypto. Like I asked him. He's like, it's a cryptocurrency. I'm like, oh, like Bitcoin. I was like, because I ain't heard about Ethereum. I was like, oh, what is? And then I check it out, and at the time that was in Ethereum, it was about what, like $180, $190 at this time. And I was like, okay. So I'm tapped in. So the old value, what I seen within the space, one was obviously the money that you can make from it if you make the right investment, the right play. And I wasn't necessarily like on a trading tip per se, just literally, put the money in and hoping it goes up. But one thing that I did also take from that, via like the social media, especially on Twitter, if people are familiar with crypto Twitter, I was like, these communities were forming around the space, around crypto, around certain coins. And literally, like, all you'd have to do is $ and then put like whatever the acronym for the coin is. I was like, this is crazy how things are forming. I've seen communities literally forming around these particular coins, just the community at large. And I was like, wow, like you can literally, and then you started seeing a whole bunch of engagement farming. All you have to do is just mention this thing. Oh, this thing's about a moon. This is going up, and you get all these followers, and people are thinking you're some, like, oh, he's calling the market and shit like that. It was a very crazy time. Then the crash came. You know what I'm saying? Then that shit came, and that shit was humbling like a motherfucker. But at this point, though, throughout like from me learning about it, the boom, and then the actually crashing, I never actually I was still trying to find the use case of this shit. I did understand Bitcoin to be a storage of value. So I did understand what Bitcoin's purpose was. But just in general, with this whole crypto shit, it was beyond me. And I would read, I'd read what they said. Like, I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be like a crypto lending platform. Cool. Oh, this right here, they want people, like there's this one project in particular, it was called Poet. And that project, like, it kind of described what this NFT shit was right now. And I didn't know what it was, but I was like, it sounds good. Like, I'm a content creator. And it was just like, yo, you could be able to put your content out there and be able to actually be able to own and authenticate your work and like let it be known that it's yours and shit like that. I was like, okay, yeah, that seems important. But it wasn't really until, again, the end of 2020 where I'm actually understanding deeper use cases way past like cheaper remittance fees, faster transaction times, storage of values. I was like starting to learn NFTs, and I was like, oh wow, like you could start incorporating utility into these things. You could start cultivating a community with NFTs. You can so many things. You could start literally, instead of making things a one-way exchange, like when people create merch or create a service or anything like that, and people buy it. And then boom, the transaction ends there. Like an NFT was literally, I started like, wow, enabling people to actually be a stockholder or an investor in what you have going on. And maybe they might not even necessarily, maybe they like the product or the art or whatever it is or the utility that this NFT is coming with, or maybe they just like you as a person. You know what I'm saying? They just want to put that money there. Or maybe they just think like you're a good investment and they just want to, flip. Whatever the reason is, I was like, yo, this is powerful. I need to tap into it, And then like that's how I like went down that rabbit hole for real.
Gotcha. And obviously it's working out
Yeah.
because where you're at right now. So a lot of people, they get confused about cryptocurrencies and how they actually have value because, like stocks, you're actually investing in a company, you're a part owner of that company. Cash is like cash, hard physical paper you can hold in your hand. So
Right.
in your opinion, like how does crypto actually have value? Like all the coins are coming out, all
Right.
that Ethereum, like what's the value in that?
Right. So I mean, so it's always going to change from each project to project. A lot of projects, say the same thing. One thing that you want to do, like for a lot of people that are like speculating, like go to a website like CoinGecko or Coin Market Cap, and then from there you can actually read the white papers to all of these projects and see what it is that they're actually doing, and then going and doing your due diligence and going to vet that actual information. And like how you go about that again is the way you vet the information and how you go about investing in crypto is still the same way that you would go about making an investment any other way, even with stocks. Who's on the team? Who's on the board? You know what I'm saying? What relationships do they have with these other businesses or companies? Who went to school with who? Where's the money? Looking at quarterly reports, all these type of things. Sometimes not all of this information is available to you, especially like when it goes to the NFT side, right? That's a whole nother world. But with cryptos, a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, they'll have the website, they'll have the white paper, and then you really just evaluate. You know what I'm saying? You start to evaluate, and you're like, yo, what have they done? And you don't want to put too much value into like roadmaps per se. A lot of people like, at least in the crypto space, it's nice to have, give people actually a trajectory of what it is that you plan to do, obviously. But at the same time, too, within this space, it's very hard. Everything is always developing, shit is always changing. So you can only give that shit, only so much credence. But you got to just really evaluate each project as they come, like a lot. And looking at the market cap, looking at the, volume traded within the joint, seeing the transparency of the team. How often are they communicating and letting people know? Are they having AMAs? Are they making sure that the community isn't in the dark about the project? So these are like a lot of things that you go about evaluating which cryptocurrencies are like are worthwhile or not. And to the point of like, cash, yeah, holding it. It's like, we don't all, like a lot of people don't need to take a step back and realize like value is not necessarily always tangible, and we already live like that. You can even look at like religion and the values we hold and shit like that. Like one would say that's very valuable. You can't really hold that though. You know what I'm saying? You just so it's more so like with the value placed in. Same thing with even like bartering services with each other. It's like, we don't need any money if you agree. Oh, you can do that for me. I can do this for you. Cool. You know what I'm saying? To anybody else, you'd be like, yo, that actually costs something. But you know what I'm saying? In different terms, you know what I'm saying? We can use different currency. So with crypto, and when you're thinking about the times that we in now, there's all this pandemic and all this stuff. There's just so many changes happening. Digital currency just kind of alleviates a lot of problems. You know what I'm saying? That the physical had. But that's just my subjective stance on this shit.
No, 100%, and you're 100% speaking facts as well, because everything is going online, just like you're talking about, and crypto is just another form of everything going online.
Right.
And so, like, in your opinion, do you think that these crypto coins will ever just replace money outright, and people are just going to start trading and doing exchanges just
right? So outright, I don't know. Who knows? I do. One thing I do feel would be is like it will definitely legitimately be another like alternative, especially Bitcoin, right? Like that's how I feel about Bitcoin. And I guess Ethereum is having this strong case too. But in terms of just like an actual currency that will actually be just used in everyday transactions and things of that nature, probably just Bitcoin alone, because even with Ethereum, you know, these network fees and these gas fees, we'll see how Ethereum 2.0 pans out. But, you know, that's not feasible for a lot of people in the world, you know, having network
Right.
fees being as crazy as they are sometimes, you know, being more than the actual thing you're purchasing, you know. But I just think it will be a real legitimate, viable other option for a lot of people. And it's cool because, like, for a lot of people, it kind of just enables them to, for some, you know, it enables like a better opportunity for economic mobility. Not everybody's banking situation is the same globally. Like, people got to think about that type of shit, you know, in a global perspective. It's like sometimes banks are really corrupt to where people are at, or sometimes it is a fucking hassle just to even get over there. So you can't even put your places, you can't put money in these type of places. You know, there's no way to have your money appreciate and things like that. So like when you have these type of like a vehicle like cryptocurrency, you're like, damn, you know what I'm saying? It kind of helps a lot of people's problems, not just getting out of the perspective people trying to, you know, get wealthy and get rich. It's like, nah, it just like helps a lot of people just even from their everyday day to day, you know what I'm saying, be able to have actual value, you know.
Yeah. And to me, it's wild because I'm sitting like on the side, I kind of watching everything happen. It's like so many big names are doing stuff like Bitcoin, all these crypto coins, like Tom Brady did that one fan like a Bitcoin after that touchdown ball.
Right.
And, you know, some players want their salaries in Bitcoin. Like, that's crazy. So it's like it's happening. You know what I mean? So I feel
Yeah.
like it's a matter of time before more people jump in the game and start experiencing it.
Exactly, man. And that's one thing to notice. Like you always look at like how culture adopts it. And in between 2017 until now, it was just being input in so many in pop culture. You heard it you've seen it in so many films and references to cryptocurrencies and in the music and things. It's like it's crazy. You just started seeing all these cultural references. Meanwhile, things are really developing. Things are really growing. Like even when bear markets come and everything is in the red and everything's depreciating, it's not as if these teams just stopped working. You know what I'm saying? That's just what the price is at. You know, things are still building and things like that. So, and being more integrated in our everyday society, like as you see, like with the metaverse now. You know, the metaverse has been building for a while now, but it wasn't only till you see, you know, Facebook made the transition to Meta. And now, you know, the Oculus has been out for about 2 to 3 years now. But, you know, just this past Christmas, you know what I'm saying? Oculus probably has some record breaking sales. Now everybody want to get into the Oculus. And now this is the influx. This is how it happens. And, you know, I think, you know, this 2022 looking forward, like gaming is really gonna be crazy. Even these new way like the play to earn and also education like these new ways of education and shit like that. It's gonna be crazy, but you know, it's already now it's just further integrating itself in our not just like in cultural references and people accepting salaries and things like that, but now in like day-to-day functions and shit, you know. So it's really crazy.
Yeah, we're actually living in futuristic times.
Yeah, for sure. Ready Player One shit. For sure.
Yeah, it's gonna happen in the next couple of years. So I kind of want to jump into the NFT side of things. So I know you said before you have over 100 NFTs, which is kind of crazy because you're thinking that how like most people in America still don't even know what NFTs are.
Oh, right.
So, real quick, just a brief description of like NFTs, what they are, what they mean to you, and then kind of just walk me through like the process. Like if someone wants to buy an NFT, like how do they go through that process to actually buy an NFT?
Right. So, I mean, NFT, obviously, you know, the acronym non-fungible token, and like how I just take that is it's just a way for you to create a unique digital, like a specific unique digital asset. And with that actual asset, you can like enable people to actually buy into it, and you can put royalties within that actual NFT as well too. So when people actually buy this NFT, like you can always collect a royalty in perpetuity. Now, people will ask, what does NFT have to be? They liken it to being some type of 3D render, having to be an animation. Like an NFT could be a poem, NFT can be a selfie, NFT can be a text message. You know, NFT can be, you know, some cool ass art. NFT can be a video, an interview, whatever you want to make it. And that the point is this gateway, this NFTs is really providing a gateway for a lot of people to start interacting with crypto and the blockchain. And it's right now it's art. Art is being shown as the first use case, but really people have to just understand the NFTs, the underlying technology is like the art is really like the visual receipt. You know, that's like your visual receipt, and you verify it because people be like, "Oh, I can just screenshot." It's like, no, I can verify this visual receipt is an actual NFT because it comes with a contract address. So I can literally look this up on the blockchain and show you the transaction in which this took place. You know, somebody that screenshots can't do that for you. So right there is like you start to realize the importance of being able to prove like provenance, prove authentication, prove the ownership of things. But and then and then the thing is, you don't even necessarily have to be an artist too. So like a lot of people will be like, you can be a community, or you can be somebody that has a big community of people that follow you, or you have subscribers, or you have clientele, or whatever it is. Like you can use NFTs to just be a way for people to be further staked in what you do, to have further skin in the game, what you do. I tell people like, you can't expect people to, and like this is a perspective, right? People are not going to just come up to you and be like, yo, I love what you're doing, I want to invest in you. Like, maybe it can happen like that, but that's not likely. But what could happen is if you just provided a vehicle for people to invest in you. You're like, yeah, I sell this merch here, yeah, I got some, or like maybe it's music, yeah, I got some music on the DSPs here and shit like that. But yeah, I do have these NFTs though. Yeah, these NFTs are a little different. Like, they kind of give you some access. When we talked about that utility aspect, this NFT come with some access to, like, maybe you get free future consultations, or maybe it's you get to help executive produce what I'm doing in the studio, or maybe you get to have a say in whatever project, or maybe you get free access to an event, or whatever it is that they hold in real life, or free merch, or it gets endless. You know what I'm saying? So many things that you can do with the actual NFT in terms of utility. So when you view about it from that perspective, it's like, oh, okay, so it doesn't even have to be just an artist per se, but even if you're a business or a community, it's like maybe it'd be smart to team up with an artist to maybe, you know what I'm saying, form that type of NFTs. And it's beautiful too, because you can split royalties within NFTs. So the funds don't ever have to actually go to like one wallet or one account when anything's actually sold. You just put all of the addresses that had contributed in whatever particular project, and then you set up like percentages commensurate with like what everybody did, you know what I'm saying, what everybody contributed. And then boom, anytime something is sold, boom, everybody gets their payout. Nobody has to worry about somebody paying out dividends or things like that. So it's very cool in terms of collaboration and things like that can be done. And in terms of like how somebody would actually just go about getting an NFT, it gets deep, but just in terms of like if you wanted to buy one today, I would recommend somebody to download like a digital wallet like a MetaMask, or you could download a Trust wallet. So like once you download something like a MetaMask, then you want to fund that MetaMask. So if you already have a crypto account, you know what I'm saying, you could just send your ETH over there. But if you don't, you can download an app like Coinbase. And again, this is not like advocacy of these apps. This is just to make it the easiest for somebody. So somebody could download Coinbase. You can hook up your bank to Coinbase, and literally, if you link up your debit card, you'll be able to actually make purchases and transfer it the same day. If you do it via your bank account, you will have to wait for it to clear a little bit. But nevertheless, you hook up your bank account to your Coinbase. You buy, let's say if you want to operate on Ethereum blockchain, because there's different blockchains. You have Solana blockchain, Tesla's blockchain, even VeChain, Cardano, Binance Smart Chain. There's all NFTs. So basically, whatever NFT you want to operate on, let's just say it's Ethereum. You buy Ethereum on Coinbase, and then you get the address of your MetaMask, your Ethereum address, and always make sure you send to the same wallet, corresponding wallets. Never send the Ethereum to a Bitcoin wallet, if you're going to lose it. But you can send the ETH to ETH. So get your ETH address for your MetaMask, you input that into your Coinbase, and then you send however much Ethereum you want over to the MetaMask. It should touch down in like several minutes. And then once it does, you can go onto these NFT platforms, because these NFT platforms, a lot of them, especially the ones that are like Web3 based, you're logging in with your wallet. It's not like your typical like username password. Now that's the case with like something like Nifty Gateway, but like OpenSea or Rarible or Known Origin or Zora, Maker's Place, like when you're logging into these, they're gonna be like, yo, log in with your MetaMask or log in with your Coinbase wallet. And then boom, you log into it, and then you're in the game, and they're gonna use that wallet for actual, like when you sell NFTs, that's the wallet that gets funded. When you're purchasing NFTs, that's the wallet that they're gonna take from. And whenever you do your transaction, if you ever want to send the money back, or you want to send NFTs to like a ledger or something like that, you can do that transaction just the same as well. You know what I'm saying? You can send it out. You just take the corresponding ETH address of wherever you want to send it, and you could send it out, But that's how literally somebody could get started today.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's honestly a fascinating process, and I actually love what you said about artists combining with other like major figures out there. And I know for me, like I saw De'Aaron Fox was making like his own Discord, and he has his own set of like NFTs that came in. I followed his Discord and that kind of stuff, and that was super cool to see like what that whole process looked like when they dropped it and that kind of stuff. And so I know you have over 100 of them, but how do you kind of like find value in NFTs and know that what you're investing in isn't going to drop to zero like right away? Because I know a lot of people out there are also NFT flippers, where they buy an NFT and sell it for like 100% profit. Like
right.
so how does that stuff happen?
Yeah, so it gets real dicey. It gets real dicey. It's a really speculative market, you know what I'm saying? I even tell people, you're better off investing in cryptos if you want to invest in NFTs, but it's very enticing. So if people want to go that route, I'd be like, well, there is, you know what I'm saying? I will tell you how to go about it, the best way to go about it. One, you know what I'm saying? You want to take out like a little checklist, and you want to make sure you can check off these three things. Like, one, how's the community like? How's the community engaging? Are people really excited about the project? Does the dialogue continue out of their AMAs and spaces that are just dedicated towards the project? People are just all over timelines, all over the social medias and discourse, things of that nature. Are they making derivative art of the project if they can? So there's that. Then you also business acumen. So one thing, I mean, that's not uncommon within the space, is like, for a lot of projects to be anonymous. I mean, Bored Ape Yacht Club, you know what I'm saying? That's an anonymous club. That's anonymous group right there. You know what I'm saying? But nobody's doubting the success of that project right there. So the thing about when I say business acumen is like, to the best of your ability, trying to vet and see who is on the team and trying to see what type of experience they have with running anything, But there are a lot of projects where, individuals, are docs, like you actually can see exactly who they are. So you follow it, you follow exactly like their resume, and you follow up like that, and like how you would any other type of investment, as much as you can, because within space it's a little bit murky, but still want to see if anybody, like, how reputable they are, how long they've been within this community or within this space, and if they've done anything similar to this type of endeavor that they're on right now. Then after that, marketing, how they're going about their marketing. Is it fake work? Is it fake marketing in terms of the engagement farming they're doing? Like, you see a lot of followers on Twitter, see a lot of followers in Discord and shit. You get into the Discord, it seems like just the same three people are talking. You're like, this is not adding up. And then you even go with the Twitter, you see all these retweets and stuff like that. But then when you look at all the replies, it's like deep fakes and bots. So you're like, oh, all right. So it looks good. You know what I'm saying? They're probably just trying to hit good on that first sale. Secondary, probably not their priority. Even worse, you know what I'm saying? Straight rug, don't care less about the secondary to out of there. So after you check all of those three things, community, like the rapport and the business acumen, and then how they're going about marketing, then the actual statistics that you can see on OpenSea. So, or whatever platform or whatever blockchain that you're using. So you check this, but like for OpenSea, you would check, the volume traded, how much there is of the project, how many owners, is it spread out fairly within the actual project? And then, you see the volume traded and how often it's being traded, and checking out their website and things like that. Sometimes people could put a really nice UI together. It looks great and it still be a rug pull, but, to a degree, you definitely still want to, see that people put time into the things that they do. So after all of those factors, then you can bring your intuition into it if you want. You know what I'm saying? Because you would think, oh, this is amazing art. That doesn't necessarily equate to, making money. And sometimes you would think that even though art is subjective, you would think that, everybody can recognize what's quality, but that's not really the case all the time here, So you got to check out for all those factors.
I never realized that you could actually check up all those stats on like OpenSea and that kind of stuff, like the volume traded. And it seems to me like it's pretty much just analyzing like a stock in a way, like that, those same types of numbers. You can pretty much see easily like which one's legit and which one's not legit.
Right. It's like, it's not the end all be all. You know what I'm saying? There's so much shit that you have to actually go in. And then also, like, being in audio rooms, that's probably how you get the real alpha or the real edge, being a part of the dialogue. Like, even if you're just a fly on the wall and you're not talking shit, Twitter Spaces is where it's at. Like, if you're not on Twitter, then you're already missing a lot, for sure. 100%. If you're not on Twitter, you're already missing a lot, because there's actually threads of conversations, and you can actually get real perspectives, real thoughts. And then with these actual spaces, just the real alpha intel you can get about a lot of shit, man. It really gives you, an edge in this space. And as speculative as a market as it is, like, it goes a long way to do whatever you can to like help yourself.
Yeah. And from what I've seen as well, it seems like the really good ones, they sell out really fast. And so I'm kind of curious, like from your experience, how do you kind of like get in these whitelists and join these discords before they actually like start blowing up? Like how do you find those ones
Yeah, so
before other people?
I'm gonna tell you straight up personally, like I don't be hunting the whitelist because I used to do that. I've been on a couple whitelists, a couple months back and stuff like that. But it's a lot. Like, now it's the influx of people. Myself, I'll try to just, if anything, if I really want to fuck with the project, I'll probably just try to snag it off secondary real quick after it's done minting. But the whitelist, you just gotta really interact or do whatever they're saying to get on that whitelist. And sometimes that's just really time intensive. Like, they want you to do a lot of shit, and it's like, yeah, I'm not about to stay in this Discord all day. Like, I'm not doing that. Like I don't care to do that. Or my boy, shout out my boy Cheese. He got tatted. He got on the invisible friends whitelist. He got tatted, and now they told everybody like no more tats. But he got up on there, and I'm like, yeah, see, this is crazy. But like I said, I'm good on whitelist myself. I'll really just try to snag it off secondary if I care for it. But yeah, I mean, the best way to get on the whitelist, you know what I'm saying, is really just trying to be in tune and trying to just be there early, or like doing the retweets or shit like that. Those are like easy whitelist shit, just doing a little sweepstake shit, you might get it type. But yeah, just being a part of them spaces, you know what I'm saying, and being a part of that dialogue will go a long way.
Gotcha. It seems like you got to do your research, like be on Twitter.
I know, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of shit. Yeah.
Makes sense. And so I'm kind of curious, like, where do you see the future of NFTs going? Because obviously, like, it's blowing up right now. Do you think it should be like a one-hit wonder in the moment, or do you think it's going to continue?
It's gonna keep on expanding. It's just gonna expand way past art, though. That's the thing, It's gonna enter into the real estate industry. It's gonna enter into like the car industry, like used cars and things like that nature. Because it's able to, the digital ledgers, now you're able to track like, the origination and like the actual, the beginning to end supply chain of all things. You even think of Walmart's even making their own NFT marketplace. When you have NFTs and when you have blockchains, like now, and even when you like, bro, even like like grocery stores, food systems, insurance, like all of this stuff, a lot of things are actually deal with human input, and a lot of things are not necessarily transparent. Now that things are actually transparent, like when you have a blockchain, like for instance, you go into like a grocery store and they're telling you, oh, all these foods are organic here. And it's like, is it really? Like, what if I can be able to scan this UI and I can literally see the travel of this actual, before I actually picked up this produce, I can literally see each place that it actually traveled before it actually got into here. And literally, like when you start having that, and now when it's kind of like keeping all of these business on their toes, and now when this metaverse start happening, it's like, okay, now we have to be more transparent about our base. Now we're probably gonna have to start giving people an opportunity to have a little bit more skin in our game. Maybe we need to incentivize people. So these NFTs start becoming these new tools for people to either be invested in certain things. They become ways for people to start identifying ownership of things. Like when you start thinking of title deeds and things of that nature, it's like, there's so many like fiduciaries that we go in between to do a lot of transactions. Like if I own the house and you have the funds for it, why do I need to be getting an agent? Why do you need to be hiring an agent? Like, why don't we just do this transaction? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it kind of like, it's going to ease a lot of processes, I feel, even if you think about the ticketing and events. Like that's where it's going to really flip everything on its head. Like I feel like in the future, all tickets are going to be NFTs. You know what I'm saying? And now you actually have like digital memorabilia that's actually worth something. It's actual digital asset. The fact that you attended that at that time and place you were there. So it's going to be game changing. But art is just like the gateway that everybody's just getting into it. But it's really the tech that's like the game changing aspect to it.
Right. And speaking of the tech part, like there's huge tech companies getting involved. So you're talking about like Microsoft's getting involved, Apple's getting involved in the metaverse. So I don't know. It's crazy. We're living in really cool times. We're gonna see what's gonna happen in the next couple of years.
Yeah, man. We gotta just exactly like now. This is the year where everybody just be like, it's just a matter of being aware that a lot of a lot of adapting is happening. So as long as you can be aware of it, and like I try to tell people, it's like, don't feel as if you need to FOMO or jump into anything too fast or things like that, but just be aware, take a step back and just try to be like, oh, what's happening right now? What's the significance this is going to have on what it is that I'm doing and things like that? These are good questions to ask. And then, you know, everything will be straight and you'll be able to make the most of it if you want to.
Yep. 100%. Well, before we run out of time today, I just want to say I appreciate your time. You said a lot of really great stuff today. Hopefully that cleared up some stuff for our audience out there.
Yeah.
So, appreciate that. And before we hop off, is there anything else you would like to say? And if people want to reach out to you, how can they find you?
Yeah, nothing much. I appreciate you for reaching out as well. But any handles that people want to touch at me with is, you know, at Bruke Fasil. And you can definitely follow my media production company as well at Into Fruition. So yeah, those are my only handles right there. But I definitely appreciate you taking the time. Check out my NFTs as well. That link tree in the IG bio as well. You know, you can check the NFT collection and shit like that. But yeah, man, everybody, you know, get tapped in, download that MetaMask, Coinbase Wall, and all that. Get active.
Awesome. I'm about to check out your NFT collection.
Hey, my man.
All right, guys, there you have it. Bruke Fasil, thank you so much for joining me today.
Nowhere that we go is a one-way street. Nothing that